getting kind of funky in here. Music's getting kind of funky. Not me. Okay. I like the funk. I like it funky. Today I'm listening to a different playlist called Mellow Beats, which is why it's so funky in here. It's funkier than nighttime lo-fi. I hope no one minds. Whoops. Building HTML systems. Okay. Let's go to the README. I always like to start at the README for anybody who may be new to the project. Here is the README. It's wobbly, Falco. It sounds wobbly to me, but that's just part of the production. So any links that you might want are on this page. All I'm going to do is run npm run dev. I think the last thing I did here was yesterday, right? May 20, no, 2 days ago? 2 days ago. I thought I pushed from my laptop yesterday. I might not have. No, this is it. Yeah, I think this is the last thing I did. Yeah, maybe. No, I think I did something else too. Let's see what it does. Let me just pull. Okay, upstream, get pull upstream master. Already up to date. Get pull origin. Everything's up to date. Okay. npm run dev. I'm pretty certain I did something. Oh, I've already got this running somewhere. Hold on. What do I have running? Is it this? It is. It's running in on another terminal. Okay, hold on. Encoding numbers. We were at the cyclic encoder, all the way down here at the bottom. So we'd already gotten through all these. Here is the cyclic encoder. Let me turn this off because it looks better. All right, so there it is. And if we press this, it converts to a circle. Isn't that nice? All right, nice and smooth conversion from line to circle, and it even handles the hover while it's transferring from one state to another. So I'm happy with that. I'm happy with that, just like that, honestly. I think that's exactly how I left it. I don't think I have any of this code. You know what, I'm gonna check my laptop because I don't trust myself. I feel like I might have changed something in the office. Like the last thing I was gonna do was auto size the SVG so it expands, you know. I gotta see if I have any changes on here. Building HTML systems. No, I don't. Okay, it's all good. Whoa, no, wait a minute. Yeah, it's all good. As long as I've got upstream master, and this last commit was more cyclic encoder cleanup. The next thing I was going to do was super simple. It was just going to be to change the shape of the SVG so that it expands and contracts. Because there's not going to be a border around this in the end, so it would look really silly if there's just a ton of white space. And I've already done this. I had already done this in the previous version. Excuse me. So there's probably code to do this already. So it probably is going to be very easy to do. So let's see if we can just do it really easily, hopefully. If we go back and look at the old source. I gotta write something down. I'll do it on my as I come up with ideas, I want to make sure that I have a way that I can write them down. Because one of the things that I want to be able to do Twitch-wise is, okay, for my Twitch stream, is rotate cameras automatically and allow chatters to somehow notify me or play a sound or something. So if I'm ignoring you guys and you want to get my attention, I'll probably only allow some chatters to do this. Probably have to follow the channel or something, but some way to let me know that you're trying to get my attention. Because sometimes I'm not paying attention to chat very much. I'm just off my own world. I need a USB extension for my other. That's a good point. Thanks for the reminder. Okay, I need a USB extension, and I won't be able to get that until I have them in my office at Numenta. And it's not just an extension. I need I'm totally missing like the cable. I need like a small HDMI to large HDMI cable. And it's actually not a USB extension that I need. It's an HDMI extension, which I have. So I actually don't need that. What I need is a small to large HDMI cable. Okay. Thanks, Falco, for distracting me with something I actually needed to do. Okay, so we're gonna look at the old source, widgets, BHTMS, coding numbers, cyclic encoder. Okay, and I know there's dot width. It's width. It's something SVG. I'm changing the. Oh no, it's height. Height. We're dynamically changing the SVG height somewhere. So I want to see where it's most likely happening. There's only 7 heights. I think I'm gonna have to manually find it. Look at the outline. Set up that GUI, create encoder. Update output bits. Update display, encoder display. Oh, that's right, it's in this, it's not even here. It's in this fancy encoders like display widget, fancy cyclic encoder, okay. I forgot about this. I already had created a component for this. Here it is, update display. So, right. Oh, I did this with jQuery, did I not? What is SVG? How am I setting this? Hopefully it's not jQuery, it's D3. Okay, so it's D3. Okay, so we're setting an attribute. Every time this is called, it's gonna dynamically set the height on this SVG based on the display state. So it'll be a certain size if it's a circle, another height if it's a line. So what I really need to do is figure out the best way to do basically this logic. And I'm just using scales that I think already exist. And where did I define this? In render. I don't know, I might actually need these scales. Circle to line scale Y, line to circle scale Y. I need these scales too. Okay, so I need these scales and I need this little bit here to make this work. If I want to do the automatic thing. Oh, hey, David. Live share, right. Forgot about the live share. So I got a question. Let me put this in chat for you. I have a question. So there's an issue that I'm working on right now. It's not essential. It is basically, all I want to do is I want the width of the SVG to be a certain height, not the width, the height of this SVG to be something when there's a line, to be another height when it's a circle, when it's in this state. And then during the transition, I want it to change and move up and down just like it was doing in the previous version. And I was going to work on this, but I was thinking maybe I'll just turn it into an issue, and with the relevant code that I just basically stole, and put it off, because I really want to keep pushing, and I want to get to the spatial pooler. I want to try and get to time encoders next week. So I want to start working on the overlap diagram and the discrete encoding diagram and keep pushing. So I think I'm going to put this in an issue, and I'm just going to define it well. We'll call it cyclic encoder dynamic height. Okay, and then I'm going to add some details to this. It's a UI, it's part of a it's not a diagram, it's just a UI tweak on a current diagram. Okay, SVG for cyclic encoder diagram should adjust height based on transition. Have one height for line state, another for circle state, and transition between them. And then I have code. I'm not sure if this is going to work. I'm going to just try it though. Whoops, not that. I preview it? No. Does this work? Yeah, it works. Okay, and I'm going to put the other code too. It didn't recognize the JS. Maybe I have to say JavaScript. There's this bit. This is what I pulled from the previous thing, and it worked. It's weird, it doesn't highlight. Maybe this doesn't work. A lot of times you can just put the name of the language in and it'll identify it. Oh my gosh, transition, last version. Okay. I don't have a label. This isn't easy. I guess I hate to call it grunt work because it's sort of fun. I want to make a tag or a label that is like, maybe blue for help wanted. I'm gonna do help wanted, and I'll make it blue. So that's, maybe I have, I know I'm in a different one now. I'm sort of like not, I think maybe I have too many labels. Let's take out investigate. No, let's, how do I edit all my labels? Menu, labels. Okay, so here's what I'll do. I'll delete this help wanted. No. That's not what I wanted. I'll make this purple. I'm not trying to delete it. I want to make it purple. Okay, so and I'm going to delete investigate because I don't think it's worth having a thing for. Okay, so anything that's purple is help wanted. Specify ID to code syntax. Sure, could make this favicon. Style the page. I'm gonna reserve that, I think. Somebody can try it if they want, but I'm not gonna request. Center value marker and simple square around the rectangle marker. Yeah, this shouldn't be hard. This should be easy. Okay. So I haven't touched a line of code, right? Yeah, I haven't touched a line of code. So I'm gonna move on. I'm gonna leave this. I'm not gonna fix it. And I'm gonna move on. Cyclic encoder, dynamic diagram height. Yeah, these tunes are funky today because it's a different playlist. It's called Mellow Beats. It's not nighttime lo-fi. But I like it because it's funky and it's almost all instrumental, so I don't have to pay much attention to it. All right. So the so now we need to consider whether we need a base class. Okay. David, you can help me with this since this is probably pretty React specific, maybe, I don't know. But what I want to think about is now that we've got two components that are diagrams, we have a simple scalar encoder and a cyclic scalar encoder. It's probably a good idea, let's split this and take a look at them. It's probably a good idea to investigate them and see if there is an opportunity now, since we have two diagrams that are both essentially creating similar D3 constructions, whether we should think about abstracting a class. So if I did extract a class, it would very likely would be to handle some of the D3 stuff. You can see here similar things happening. Orient D3, render number line, render value marker, render output cells. So we have a bit of a pattern here for this, but I don't want to put in place too much of any restrictions. I want to be unfettered, but if there's a bunch of, like if Orient 3D is essentially the same thing, how do I dive into that? Like I can command click it. Oh, there it went. This one too. Command click. There we go. So we never even use this because we don't draw the Bezier curves. Am I getting better with the Bezier curves? Yeah, it might. I don't want to try and force any abstraction. I'm just wondering if this isn't much. Like it's almost not worth it just because this is different. And the next one might be significantly different too. All right, nailed Bezier, great. This is also different enough that it's not super easy. Render number line is all again different. So yeah, I'm not looking like I want to change anything, although this is very, very, very similar for the value marker. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know if it's worth it for one function. I know the output cells are going to be drastically different. Yeah. Because we're doing circles in one and rects in the other, and we're using a data array for one and not in the other at all. We abstract value marker into its own component altogether. I guess it doesn't have to be. That's a good point. So let me think about this. That's a good point. So here I would create. That's where I would just instantiate it, right, as a value marker. Then I can do the same thing here. and then get rid of the whole innards, right? That renders the value marker. It would render itself. Let me just make sure there's nothing D3-ish that was gonna keep this. Yeah. I think it's not big enough of a deal for me to change anything. So let's move along. Let's move along. I've investigated it. We looked into it, but at least we know where it's possible that we could do some abstraction and what might be affected. So as we make our next diagram, we can think about that and keep it in mind. Okay, so the next one, we're still in numbers. Here's the one we were just working on. And I don't think this matters. I don't think I have to show that, so I wasn't even going to do it. The next one is, so we're trying to show why it's important, why discrete versus continuous encodings are different. Cyclic encoder line 55, you put a comment? There it is, okay. This can just do render output cells, I think, to save a lot of CPU. I think you're right. Let's try that. We'll find out. Whoops. Huh. Let's try it. Yeah. Totally right. Cool. Okay. Thanks, Dave. So now, anyway, I was trying to show you what we're going to build now. We want to build, sorry about that. So the point here is to show two encodings in the same space and how they can be encoded similarly based on the W and N settings of the space. So we'll have one encoder that's one color. I like the yellow and blue interaction and having a green in the middle. We don't have to use this color specifically, but I like this interaction. I'd like to not have these things. It would be much more intuitive if the user grabbed the value itself and drug it. That would be my preference, if you drug right here and moved it like that. So I'm not going to recreate this. I think we'll just start with, so there's no number line in this one. It's just the output cells and then two encodings that are going to be movable somehow by the user. I don't think we need to use page variables at all here. I think we can just instantiate it. So here's the way I would write it. We're going to have like a value A and a value B. Maybe we'll just call them blue and yellow. I don't know. We're going to have two values, and W and N are the only things that are going to pass into this. This is going to be, what are we going to call this? All the examples shown have been continuous encodings. This also means numbers near one another in the number line have been represented similarly. For example, you can see encodings for two numbers. Let me refresh the page so you can see encodings for 4 and 5. Given the encoding parameters defined below, you can see the overlapping bits in green. So maybe we'll call this scalar overlap diagram. Scalar overlap diagram. Let's call it that. So we're going to create a new diagram here. We'll call it scalar overlap diagram, JSX. So our third diagram, and let's just steal, like we did before, we'll steal the structure of it from another encoder. Scalar overlap diagram. Okay, we will I don't know if I used a bounded encoder last time or not. Let's see. Oh, it doesn't even go to the end. That's weird. I prevent it from even going to the end. I don't know why I did that. It probably because it did something weird at the boundaries and I didn't want to mess with it. Okay, so I just bound those manually to, so I can hard code this. I can hard code a lot of stuff in this. So we're not going to use the bounded scalar encoder. It's just going to be the scalar encoder. Scalar overlap diagram. We're going to have two encodings. So two encodings with the same encoder. So this will be different. This will be different. There will be no render number line, no render value marker, just output cells. I'm not sure about the encoders. There may be something called reset encoders. The component will not update, so we're not going to get property changes. No, we'll leave this just the same. But it's not going to be value, so this isn't going to work. We'll leave the update, but there's like value 1 and value 2 here, so I'm not sure. I'm just going to leave this empty. I'm sure we will want this. I'm sure we'll want that. Orient D3. We'll come back to this. I'm going to just comment it out. Reset encoder. I'm not gonna, something different's gonna happen there. But render number line is gonna be gone. Render value marker is gone. Render output cells is alive and well. And mostly the same. The trick is gonna be the colors here. So there's definitely going to be some stuff to do in the colors. Like this is okay, this is okay. Yeah, so we just got certainly some things to do there. But I think we can leave the rest. Get range from bit index. This is something, we're not handling cell output hover. We're going to do something different. So we don't have to worry about these Bezier curves, but we will have different Bezier curves. We're going to have the ones that go from the value up to there. And we can swipe that from the old code. So we don't need handle number line hover. We're not going to have a number line or a value marker. So there's scalar. We're not going to have these labels. There's output cells. Okay, so let's go look at the structure. Oh, there's another place I need to update this. And these. So we're not going to have bounded. We're not going to have a value. This is not going to have an on update. There's no min and max. There's no resolution. I'm going to hard code all this stuff. There's an ID. Actually, I'm going to hard code. No, N and W maybe will change. Yeah, definitely. We want the user to be able to change N and W. Yes. So those maybe we can. Maybe we will use those parent properties since we already have those in the page, right? We're already using them here for all of these others. If I change N and W, where did I change them? There we go, min, max, N and W. So let's just use whatever's in the page. We'll use that. I think that'll be fine. Okay, so we'll say that's required. Diagram width is required. So that's all we're going to need. Everything else is internal. The value's not going to bubble up. None of the values are going to bubble. Nothing's going to bubble up out of this. Okay, so ID, W, N. Okay. So now in the number encoder page, or excuse me, the encoding numbers page. Did I miss something, David? I saw your thing pop up. We're gonna use this way down here. It's gonna look kind of like this. So where's the stub? Here we go. Continuous. So let's build the scaffold here. It's a figure. Fig caption. The diagram is going to go here. And we're going to call it, and it's not cyclic coder, it is scalar overlap diagram. No value, no min, no max, no display state, no on update. Get rid of that. Put this inside of the fig caption. Like so. There we go. So we will want to have params. Eventually we'll get to these. These are going to be, oh, these values I might want to, oh, that's interesting. So these did not even update. This doesn't update when this does. You can see that either. So if I wanted this to update, I would have to pop these up into page variables or put them in the diagram somewhere. And I do want them to update. I do. I've just decided. So I'm going to have a couple more page state variables, I think. This is going to be specifically for these two values. Let's just call them blue and yellow. I'm just going to call them blue and yellow. Blue is 4, yellow is 5, and we're going to call it where they're going to be page state variables from here on out. And so that way we can send them in this dot state dot blue, yellow, this dot state dot yellow. Come into this guy and yeah, there you go. You're getting the, so this is going to be, instead of value A, value B, let's call them blue value, yellow value, or something like that. But yeah, that's, I'm sending them in as blue and yellow, and we'll assume that they're numbers. Get rid of this. And so what I should put here, so now I need a parameter, a new parameter to change these, so I'm going to do that. Constant, a number value parameter. I'm sort of going to put these in the order in which they're used on the page. So we're going to say parameter blue. Blue. And it's going to be between 2 and I'm going to make the high this dot state dot max. Maybe I can do that, just this dot state dot min and max. Does that work? And the step's going to be 1. I know, but that's what they're always going to be blue and yellow. I could call it blue value, yellow value. So I would agree with you if it were not in the context of this diagram. But if you're looking at this diagram, what does blue and yellow mean? If you're getting in, I think blue value and yellow value is fine. So let's call it that. Blue value. So then you know at least it should be a value. But better. Maybe. I'm sort of baking in the colors into the diagram. So let me finish what I was doing here. I was creating parameter blue. It's going to be state blue value. Set state blue value. See, it's not going to update though. Oh no, that will. This will update. So then parameter yellow. All right. Okay, yellow value 3. Did I do that? Okay, so let me try and see if the parameter insertion works. Coding of, instead of 4 here, I'm going to put parameter blue. Parameter yellow. What's wrong? Say that's wrong, right? I'm going to pass blue value and yellow value instead of value in page. Oh yeah, thank you. Blue value, yellow value, blue value. Okay, blue value is 4, yellow value 5. 2 parameters, blue is pointing to blue value, yellow, yellow, yellow value, set state, yellow value. Okay, those are my parameters. This is scalar overlap, ID diagram, NW, blue value, yellow value. I don't think that I have these right. So now I need to blue value, yellow value property. Okay. You're right. I mean, I could let's see. It wouldn't be a bad idea, because if we want to abstract away the colors so we can change the colors later, we could just call this value 1 and value 2. Value I'm starting now. I sort of want to do value left and value right, but I don't know. Do you think value A and value B? Okay, let's do that. Value A, value B. Okay. Did it update this? Yeah. Value A, value B. Okay, we'll change the name of this. Parameter value A, quote A. Parameter value B. Okay, B, 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 A, A, A. Okay. Down here, value A, value B, and then value A, value B. Okay, scale it back in here. Let's change this. You already got that. And you got that, and you got that. All right, teamwork. I'm cheering prematurely because I know this is going to work. Okay, the THTS is not defined. That's easy. That's easy to fix. You already fixed it, didn't you? Okay, ATTR. Oh yeah, this is probably a real error now. Scalar overlap 91. Okay, so we got past initialization and now we're actually doing things. So we're making progress. I hear you guys. Thanks for keeping me on the right track as far as code goes. This is certainly cleaner. And now I can go in and change the colors easily. What I'd really like to do is take any two colors that maybe you're given and create the color in between. Who knows? But that's not important right now. So where were we? ATTR is not a function. So I'm not sending in treat cells. Select rex. So whatever I'm selecting here. So let's see. My G. I'm looking for something called output cells, and it probably doesn't exist. That's probably why. I have an output cells here. Let's debug. Let's debug. All right, so where are you getting called from? Why isn't it debugging into, let's start it right here. This will probably tell us better. Ah, come on. I don't understand why sometimes the debugger doesn't work. It doesn't kick in until I do this. Now I do this, and it works. So is G a thing? It is a thing. Is Rex a thing? No. Okay, so we're taking the G, selecting all Rex. The encoding is undefined. That's the problem. Well, that makes sense. That makes sense. So that's a key problem. That's just something we have to do. So if the encoding is undefined, that's because we're not defining it. In Orient 3D, we're not doing anything. We're not setting up the encoder at all. Okay, so we're going to have two encoders. Well, we're going to have one encoder. Yeah, we're only going to have one encoder. So let's make sure that's working. The encoder is min, max, whatever is not coming from the props. Or is it? Was I sending it in? Why don't I just send it in? Why don't I just send in all that stuff? We might as well, right? Let's just use it. Then the user can just easily change it. That's not what I wanted. Let's move this up. Min, max, NW, value A, value B. So let's send it right in, and we'll just assume that we have it. Bye, Mark. Thanks for stopping in. Can you guys contact Google and put HTML on their collab notebook? I don't know. Oh, I'm not a GitHub employee, Mr. Rocky. I like GitHub a lot. I've done a lot of work with GitHub. But I just got this at a GitHub conference several years ago. Are you from GitHub? I've worked a lot with people at GitHub before. They don't work there anymore. Used to know several people there. But I do lots of stuff with GitHub. GitHub's awesome. I'm on GitHub right now. So, where were we now? I was about to make sure that encoders were getting created. In here, reset the encoder. So we're not going to have a this value anymore. We're going to have a value A and a value B. So I'm not going to even send it in. The encoders, since this is part of we have access to this, we don't need to look at this value. We're going to have an encoding A and an encoding B, essentially. So we'll have encoding A, and this will be value A. And we'll have encoding B. Value B. So that'll be our encoder. Min and max, bounded, all that stuff will come from outside. We don't have to worry about it. It won't be bounded. Resolution. So this allows us to pass in all these things and it'll affect it, but we won't. So now Orient 3D, I think we still need to do this. This is just to sort of create the linear interpolation, the scales that we need to do the linear interpolation. A value in that linear scale from min to max to a screen value, and then the bit index to the output display value. These are things that we're going to use later. I might even uncomment them until we need them. I'm sure we're going to need them. I'm not sure about this last one, but well, probably. We'll see. Okay, so we're going to call reset encoder and orient D3 now. And see where we are at. We're still in the same place. So So we've got encoding A, encoding B. Yeah, because we're not using those encodings properly. So in the output cells, we're going to render we're going to have two encodings. And we're not going to be able to just do like this. Here's what we'll do. We're going to create a new data object that's going to have both encodings in it. So let's say let's call it a dual encoding. And we'll take this dot encoding A, and we'll map it. What is the syntax for should I do like this? That. So this should give me the value and the index. Or V and I. Let's call it V and I for now. And then we're going to output an object for each one. A is going to be the value, and B is going to be this dot encoding B at that index. So we'll have both of the encoding values available. I think I should probably say encoding B equals this dot encoding B, so that I don't have to use this within this function. Now I can take this encoding, this can also be a constant, we're not going to touch it, and send it in instead of just the single encoding. So now we've got a data object right here that has an A and a B value. All right. So I'm going to hard code the colors first. So first of all, let's just say, instead of D, let's just say if D dot A is greater than 0, or D dot B greater than 0, will return the on color. So we should at least see something, right? Oh, we've totally got it in the wrong place. Hold on. Wait a minute. What's going on here? How did that happen? Why is it here? Why? How did it get there? Am I going nuts? That doesn't make sense at all. I need the ID. Okay, it was just an ID problem. Okay. That's cool. No. You're right. Here we go. 4 and 5. So as we change this, yeah, so this is working. If I can I can move them apart. Okay, so this is working. This is great. Okay, so now I just have to change the colors and decide which color we're going to do. So I'm going to hard code this first, and then we'll think about more cleverer ways to do this. There you go. It's not done yet. I want to do the colors. So we'll just do this super easy. Let's say instead of on color, we'll have a color, which we'll say is blue, B color, yellow, both color, green. All right, so let's just write a little simple switch statement up in here. And it just is going to say if D A if D dot A is greater than 0 and D dot B is greater than 0, return both color. If D dot A is greater than 0, return A color. If D dot B greater than 0, return B color. Otherwise, return off. Cha-ching! Aw, what happened? Handle number line hover is not a function. Why is there a number line hover happening? Because I need to change this. This is always going to be a handle output cell hover. And actually, I don't want to do this. I don't need an output line hover. So I'm going to take that out. I don't need an on mouse move at all. There. What did I do wrong here? Okay, got it. Okay. Where were we? Here we go. All right, moving to 5 up. This would be a lot nicer with, all right, it's working great though. This would be great with something a little bit more dynamic. Like I really want to drag. I like the drag thing, but it's okay for now. Okay, so what else do we have? So I want to be able to, let's render this higher. First of all, it's really low. We're gonna render it at the top, and then we're gonna put these Bezier curves under it with a value under it. Which is what I want to do next. And instead of 4 and 5, I almost want to hard code. This isn't the way I want it to start out. I almost do want to hard code the 4 and the 5, but they have to be able to change it. I think they're gonna do this entirely from within the diagram, the more I think about it. So let's get rid of these. I know I did a little bit of extra work here, but I'm thinking these might actually be completely, even the values. So what I really want is for them to hover within it. So let's do this for now. Maybe I won't end up doing this in the long run. What is the N and W that I did for the example here? It was N14, W is 100, or the opposite of that. W is 100 and 14. So they should pop up close to each other and with a little bit of overlap if I do that, but no. Okay, what did I do wrong here? Oh, the min and the max. The min and the max is, so it's 0 to 10. Zero to 10, 4 and 5. Move this over here. What's wrong here? Something's wrong with my N and W. I got them backwards. 100, 14. Let's do W first. There. It's almost time to take a break. Okay, so that's what I wanted, but now they're not showing up. Let's see. Passing in max, min and max, which should be good. So let's see, let's look at the data where we create the data array here. Of course, I'm gonna have to put the debugger manually in. I don't know why. There we go. Where are we? This is, again, probably just going to have to put render output cells there. Is that what you're probably waiting for? Okay, the encoding should be fine, but it's not. Okay, so something's wrong the way I'm creating the encoders. So it's here. Encoder. Oh, the scrubbers are updating state, but you're not passing state anymore. Oh, right. I have to manage my own state now. That was it, right? If I'm not getting it, it's not telling it to render anymore, I guess. Or not. The way I'm getting my state, it's not coming from here anymore. No, it's coming from there. It's just not managed by the parent. So I'll get this value and then I can basically do what I want with it, but I have to call update myself if it changes, because component did update's not being called. Is that the deal? So update's never being called. It is being called. I'm afraid this is something to do with the encoders. I want to debug right here. It's called on mount, yeah, but not on update. But even on mount, it should render first. It should render once. I should get these encodings with a value of 4 and B. Encoding A should have, okay, so the encoders are, there should be values in here. There should be number ones in here. So the encoders aren't being created properly. Bounded, undefined min. Oh, min and max are backwards. Min and max are backwards. Let me take that debugger out. I think that's all. I bet that's all it is. Get the debugger out of there. All right, come on. Min and max backwards. There we go. There we go. That's it. That's what I want. It's all good. Let's see if it updates though. Yeah, it's not updating. So that's where your advice comes in. So now, because component did update is not happening, and because I'm not, these things don't work anymore. I would like maybe I will keep value A and value B coming from the same place, just so they can be updated in the page. I mean, just so they can be displayed at the page level in the figure caption. Although, yeah, I guess I could do that. So I won't have a parameter for it. Does that make sense, David? I could keep this value A and B as this .state.value A and value B, etc. But I'm not going to use parameter A and parameter B. I will just have a display there. Yeah. That's what I'm going to do. That's what I'm going to do. So this would be code this .state.value A. I just want to display it there. I could so then I can keep the state global. I can have the parent update it, bubble it up so that the displays update. And I can keep the scrubber. I don't want the scrubber though. That's not the way I want the user to interface with this. I want them to hover over these. I want this to change the value. I want them to grab it and pull it over this way. Grab that and pull it over that way. That'll be within the diagram though. That'll be a D3 interaction. It'll call up to update. So I'll have to add that update feature back to get that to work, which is this thing. So on update of, well, I guess I'm going to get B and A, right? A, B. The value, well, no. I know what to do. Hold on. It's not going to be this simple as just set state. Does this work? Something like this, and I'll send that from the inside. Oh, I can do both at the same time. Oh, I could probably just do this. I can just do this, and I can have it have an A and a B, right? Super simple. Yeah. Okay. All right. So let me put this back the way it was, basically. Because it was perfect. That. So I'll leave it at that, and I'll send it, whatever value I send it when I call it on update, I'll send it an object with an A and a B. A value A, value B. which would update the state, which has value A, value B. Okay. Okay, so the next thing, let me make sure everything still works, and I'll commit just to save what we have. Oh, let me change this too. This is going to be the same thing. I don't want this to be, I want this to update as things change right here, but I don't want the user to be able to change it here. I want him to be able to change it within the diagram. All right, so let me get a commit in here. Let's see. Let's look and see what we have changed. I'm going to do a commit, I'm going to push, and then take a break. So let's look at our differences here. Keep pressing the wrong button. Okay, cyclic. Now let's look at encoding numbers first. So we added a new diagram, scalar overlap diagram. We added a couple new page values, which will be updated on the page when that diagram changes. We added these two parameter values, which I'm not going to use. So I'm going to take those out. Down here, we replace the diagram stub with a scalar output overlap diagram, continuous overlap. Aha, so this I forgot to change. That's why we review. The caption, I replaced the code with value A and value B instead of the parameters. Okay, that's that for that one. Scalar overlap, I shouldn't have changed anything in here. I don't know why. I don't know why this is. Oh, this is entirely new. Scalar, I thought it was the old class. Okay. It shouldn't have changed anything in here, but oh yeah, we did this for optimization and I removed that. So that's fine. That's fine. So let's call this added scalar overlap diagram. I'm just going to push to master since it's just mostly me and maybe a couple others every once in a while. Oh, David, I noticed you had a PR. I totally forgot about that. Is this still a valid PR? Because it's a little old and I didn't see it until it was too late. Until it was pretty late. You had a PR on mine 12 days ago. It's probably pretty old. Or is this one of them that I just... What's my alarm going off? Ah, I gotta go. I gotta go get my kids. Forgot. Okay, so I'm gonna be back. We did pretty good and I just pushed. Let me just push real quick. Yeah, I just pushed. So I'm gonna go. Yay, good job. So I'm gonna go get my kids. I'm gonna be back in a couple hours and I'll be live streaming again. So thanks for watching and I will be, oh wait, credits. We gotta do credits, all right. I don't think the credits are gonna say anything actually because, oh man. Damn you, OBS. God, come on. Can't be serious. Seriously. Okay. Whatever. I don't think there's anything to roll anyway, so. Anyway, take care. I'll see you guys later.